Welcome back to USA Car Reviews, where we take a closer look at the vehicles that shaped America's roads and continue to inspire the car world today. Today, we're talking about a true American legend, the 1953 Ford F-Series pickup, a truck that didn't just carry loads, it carried Ford into a new era of design, engineering, and dominance in the pickup market. Now this year, 1953, was more than just another year on the calendar. For Ford, it marked the company's 50th anniversary, and they weren't about to let that milestone pass without doing something big. So, they went all in and redesigned the F-Series line from the ground up, and what came out of Dearborn was a truck that didn't just look tougher and sleeker but also brought features that drivers in the early 50s hadn't seen before in a pickup. If you go back just a few years, the first generation of Ford's post-war pickups, the so-called bonus-built trucks introduced in 1948, had already made waves for being purpose-built as trucks rather than just car chassis with beds bolted on. But by the time 1953 rolled around, Ford knew that America was changing. Families were moving to the suburbs, businesses were expanding, and people were using pickups for way more than just farm chores. They needed trucks that could haul and tow but also drive comfortably on the highway and look good doing it. And Ford answered the call. The 1953 F-Series introduced what would become iconic design cues for generations. The most obvious was the new, wider, and longer cab. Ford called it the Driverized Cab, and it was a big deal. Drivers now had more headroom, more legroom, and better visibility than ever before. For the first time, you could really feel like you weren't just crammed into a work box but actually sitting in a space designed with human comfort in mind. And believe me, when you compare it to trucks just a few years older, it was night and day. The seat was wider, the steering wheel had a better angle, and the dash layout was simple but functional. Even little details like better insulation and improved ventilation showed that Ford was thinking about the man behind the wheel, not just the cargo in the bed. Speaking of beds, the 1953 lineup came in a variety of configurations. You had the F-100, which replaced the old F-1 as the light-duty half-ton, the F-250 for 3/4-ton jobs, and the F-350 for the 1-ton heavy lifting. Each model could be ordered with different bed lengths, from the shorter style-side beds to the longer 8-footers, depending on what you needed the truck for. This versatility was one of the things that set the F-Series apart. Ford wasn't just selling you a truck, they were selling you the exact truck for your lifestyle or your business. It's a philosophy that still drives the F-Series line today, which is now, of course, the best-selling vehicle in America. Under the hood, 1953 was also a turning point. Ford made available their proven flathead V8, but this was actually the final year it would be offered in the F-Series. That flathead had been around since 1932, and it was beloved for its reliability and simplicity, but Ford was moving into the overhead valve era. Buyers could also get the 215 cubic inch inline-six, which was rugged and dependable. Power output might not sound like much by today's standards, but in the early 50s, around 100 horsepower was plenty to get the job done. What mattered more was torque, and these engines had it in spades, giving farmers, contractors, and small business owners the grunt they needed. Design-wise, the 1953 trucks looked sharp. They had a more integrated front end, with a single-piece windshield replacing the old split-glass design, a change that gave the truck a modern look and improved visibility. The grille had a bold, horizontal bar design with a heavy Ford badge right in the center, letting everyone know exactly what you were driving. The fenders flowed more smoothly into the body, and the overall shape was more aerodynamic, or at least as aerodynamic as a 1950s pickup could be. The result was a truck that looked both muscular and stylish, a combination that appealed to both workmen and everyday drivers who just wanted a dependable ride. Another key factor in the 1953 redesign was Ford's focus on comfort and usability. This wasn't just about looking good parked in the driveway. The controls were easier to reach, the ride quality was better thanks to updated suspension tuning, and even small things like a larger rear window improved the driving experience. These trucks were being marketed as all-around vehicles, not just tools. You could use it on the job site during the week and then take the family into town on Saturday without feeling like you were roughing it. In fact, Ford advertisements of the time really pushed this dual-purpose identity, showing the F-Series not only as a worker but as a partner in everyday life. Looking back today, the 1953 Ford F-Series is more than just an old pickup. It's a piece of automotive history that set the stage for what would become America's favorite truck. Collectors and enthusiasts prize these models, especially the F-100, which has become a classic in the hot rodding and custom scene. Restored examples can fetch serious money, and even barn finds are considered treasures because they represent the birth of a design philosophy that carries through to the F-150s you see dominating the highways today. So why does the 1953 Ford F-Series still matter? Because it was the moment Ford understood that trucks could be more than just utility machines. They could be comfortable, stylish, and versatile without losing their toughness. That balance is exactly why the F-Series has been the #1 selling truck in America for over 4 decades. Every time you see a modern F-150 with its high-tech cabin and powerful engines, you can trace its DNA straight back to the ideas Ford put into practice in 1953. And that's what makes this truck so special. It's not just steel and rubber. It's a turning point, a symbol of how America's relationship with the pickup changed forever. Whether you love it for its classic looks, its role in history, or just the way it reminds you of a simpler time, the 1953 Ford F-Series is one of those vehicles that will always deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame of American automotive icons. This has been USA Car Reviews, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Ford's most important trucks, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more classic and modern car reviews, and drop a comment below telling us your favorite generation of the Ford F-Series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.